evening, fight fans. Welcome to another great episode of Headkicks and Haymakers. I'm your boy Bodkins, and of course, with me as always is Mr. Bobby Blunt. Bobby, the comments are already rolling. Our guy Rob has been waiting, I think. So sorry about it, Rob. We had to push the show back 30 minutes. I was doing some family stuff, so it's all good though. We're back. We're here. We're ready. We got a packed show tonight. It is. We'll be breaking down UFC at 3:30. How did we get here already? Islam Makhachev, the reigning welterweight champion, possibly GOAT status here, taking on Ian Machado-Garry. A lot of people not giving Ian a chance. I beg to differ. We'll break it all down. We'll break the whole card down. Not the deepest of deepest cards that we've seen, but great main event. I know you're super excited, Bobby, but before we break it all down, we got to go back to last Saturday in the Apex, the lively Apex at that. And we have a new star, a new player in the 155 division, and his name's Quillen Salkid, because what he did to Gamrot on Saturday night, he just punched his ticket to superstardom.
Yeah, I mean, easily passed the test with complete flying colors. I still can't really get over it. I've watched it back a couple times, and just how Gamrot is like such a well-known scrambler, and for him to like get the better of him in those exchanges and use it to get his back to get back up when he was in a the leg lock. It was just really impressive stuff. He hurt Gamrot early. I did not think Gamrot like really fully ever recovered from there. He just kind of instantly shot after that. And Quinlan was ready for it and just completely shut it down. And to be able to submit him in the first round is just next level stuff for him to be able to like keep the first round like finish streak going, because I think he's had 3 of them back to back or something.
Yeah.
And every now and then, like, we see these guys like come along and that have a performance that really just like elevates them in another tier to really what is possible. And that's exactly what happened with Quinlan Salkid on Saturday night. It was I still can't get over him choosing to, when he got the back, he separated from Gamrot to get Gamrot to move forward to him, and then he just used that to grab his neck. I can't remember the last time I saw that, if ever, and just incredible performance. We got a real contender at 155.
Yeah, you know what impressed me the most is, like, it's not that he beat Gamrot, right? It's not that he beat, like, he was the favorite. It's how he beat Gamrot, like, and he beat Gamrot at his own game, right? Like if he would have went in there and just blasted Gamrot in a knockout, I probably would have been impressed, but I don't think I would have been as impressed as I came away. Because if you would have asked me a week ago, hey, what's the least likely outcome, the 2 outcomes of this fight, I would have said Gamrot by KO and Salkid by submission, right? Like, I just thought that that's just the 2 least likely things to happen. Turns out Salkid very deadly on the ground, and he went through a guy who is so good on the ground. We've seen him spit out and chew out, especially young guys, and he's gone, all 5 rounds with Arman Sarukian. It's not, people just don't do that to Gamrot in the first round, much less at all, and he got him out in the first round. And I was impressed, first to be able to get out of the knee lock. It really wasn't that deep. He didn't panic, just was like, hey, I'm good here. And then when they started throwing hands and he shoots on Gamrot, I was like, what the hell is this kid doing? Then able to take him down and then take his back and submit him was very impressive. And the kid's only, he's not even, I think he's like 29, if that, very young. This 155 is going to be very stacked. We have Ilya, who's 29. You have Armin, who's 29. You have Patty, who's under 30. You have Salkid, who's under 30. These guys are going to be kind of maybe the new face of 155. Let me ask you, Bobby, where do you think how far can you think Quinlan Salkid can go? Do you see him holding the title? Like, I'm not going to put him with Ilya and Armin yet, but you know, him and Patty are kind of in that same region. But do you think that Quillen could fight for the title and maybe win the title?
At this point, I think it's inevitable. Maybe not like right away, but I have to consider him a serious contender in this division. I don't think Patty would take the fight if it was offered because of rankings, but that would be a close one for me to call. I think I would lean Quinlan, and it's not all just like recency bias. The fact that that fight was so short and we got so many kind of questions answered from that 5 minutes of work that we got out of that one is just kind of why I'm so impressed with the performance. And I can't have I know he's still not completely like catapulted into the top 5 yet, but
he's 6. He's 6 right now.
And is he above BSD?
Yeah, BSD's 8.
Yeah.
Moicano's 7. This is the meta rankings. So you have Gaethje the champ, Ilya, Armin, Charles, Max, Patty, Quillen.
See, I have really nothing to learn from them matching him up with BSD. Like that to me, any like questions I had about the Gamrot fight were fully answered. So the BSD fight might be fun, but I really don't have an interest for it. I think it needs to, bottom line,
Charles or Max to me.
Max, Charles or Patty. I understand that people are penciling Patty and Ilya, so like we can probably put that one to the side, but there's no reason it shouldn't be those top guys. I'm not worried about like stale matchmaking down the line. We have a lot of fresh matchups here with these young guys, so let's run some of them.
Yeah, and it seems like, well, we know Armin is going to take on Hoofy. So to me, it's got to be Max or Charles, but I think Charles was supposed to fight. Dana said that Armin's original opponent dropped out, and I think that was Charles by every indication. And now Diego Lopez, who's been rumored to fight Charles as well, posted a picture with him, and Hunter Campbell said 155. So it's also very interesting.
I don't think it's Oliveira simply because I don't see him taking another fight that quickly unless it's like severely down the line.
Who's that? Who's
Oliveira and Diego getting matched up right now?
I guess so. Because why would he get hurt if he was going to pull out in September? Why would they do that fight?
Yeah, well, especially because it was more a personal matter with the death of a teammate. So I would just be kind of surprised if it's, oh yeah, I don't need to do that one in a month, but I'm going to do that one in 2 months. So I do think Diego is going to be fine at 155, even though I wish there's still funner fights for him at 145. But Diego's one of those fun guys that we'll take it. Ironically, if Hoofy wasn't matched up with Armin, that's probably what I'd be calling for Quinlan next. But they literally just booked him against Armin. So
yeah.
That's why, like, bottom line for me in like Quinlan's case, it has to be one of those big 3. Like, I don't think I'm gonna learn anything about BSD. He beats any of those next guys, he's one away, if not next, after things get sorted at the top. So
yeah, they pretty much said it's been noticed that Armin versus, if Armin wins, he'll take on Gaethje. I think Gaethje's done for the rest of the year, so we don't have to worry about that. What do you mean? Well, you got the windy,
bro. Bro, I do not trust this company to give Armin Sarukian a title shot.
Oh, okay. I thought you meant by Gaethje being done.
Oh no. I've been saying that he's not fighting until 27 and he's more than earned that. It's why I did not have an issue with Armin taking this fight. I mean, I know originally it was probably going to be Oliveira, but he needs to get a fight in before 27, so it works.
Yeah, agreed. Allegedly, they told Armin you beat Hoofy, the title's next. So personally, if that's okay, let's just look at the top. Let's play matchmaker here for the lightweight division. So if Armin wins, it's Justin Armin, right? Then I think you got to do Ilya Patty. Like, just that's the fight to make. That's the biggest fight you can make in this division. That's bigger than the title at this point in time. Do you agree or disagree?
I agree, but at the same time, I'm not clamoring to see it immediately. Like, I understand this is probably the most marquee time to do it, but
if not now, when this is the best time to do it, Bobby?
Yeah, I guess it. I don't know. I think with me, the reason I'm whatever about it is because as long as those guys are fighting like those top 5 guys at the top, we are in it for a really good spot. But yeah, logically, I would say they would probably push for the Patty fight next.
I don't because I feel like Dubs. Why I could see that happening. They already kind of told Armin if he wins this fight, title shots next. So that's the only reason. But I want to see that fight, Armin versus Ilya, and probably should have seen. We should have been able to see that fight, but Ilya does dumb things sometimes, or not Ilya, but Armin.
To Dub's point, if Armin, like if Ilya were not to fight by the time Armin gets booked for Gaethje, they would 100% give Ilya the title.
That should have been the title fight, right?
Yeah.
I mean, that should have been on the White House.
Yeah. So, that wouldn't shock me. I haven't closed the door on that fight. I just do think we're at least a year away from getting it. So, but I'll take it. You know that.
Me too, Will. That's what I want to see. I want to see Ilya versus Patty. That's the fight.
As far as a big fight that you could do to headline a number card with no title, you are correct. That would be the fight.
Yeah. And so then if we did that, then you definitely can do, to me, Quillen versus Charles or Max makes the most sense.
Yeah. I don't know. Am I just sick for wanting to run Quinlan Max? I mean, that just sounds so
No, I think that's a good fight. I'd like to. That's a fun fight for me.
Yeah. I think that's where the conversation should start, though. It should not start any of those names below him. Like, he should not be fighting down after what he did to Gamera.
No, I agree. I agree. He called for November, so I mean that makes sense. You could do him and Max in November easily. It's not like Max fucking broke a sweat in the last fight.
Yeah, and I saw this like mentioned, but I'll put it to bed. I do not think Max would wait out to get the rematch for a Conor fight. Like,
no, I don't
that
think
sounds
so.
like some Michael Chandler shit, like I fully expect Max to, get a fight and take it.
Yeah. Speaking of Michael Chandler, I guess he was reported being seen at the WWE Performance Center.
Whoever is reporting that is a sick person. What did that comment say that was on the screen?
Oh, Dub said he loves the idea of Quillen versus Max pretty much. He said it's going to be Hooker Poirier 2.0.
Yeah, no, that would be so fun. And like that you would have to do it in a 5-round scenario, obviously. And I guess if there's like one question we can still have about Salkiel It's what does he look like in that 4th and 5th round. But at the same time, if
Shit,
you don't,
at this point, we don't even know what he looks like in the second round, Bobby.
very, very fair, very fair.
Much less the championship rounds. We haven't even seen him get out, in the second or third rounds. I do think he'll be fine. I don't have the question marks in his cardio. I don't think.
That's what people will point to when they try to say, no, we don't want to do Max or Oliveira next, because we still have unanswered questions. I mean, to me, he's just passed enough tests to where, he's evolved from upcoming fighter to a contender I want to see fight the best in that division, because it's going to be a great fight. So
he broke through, right? That was a breakthrough performance Saturday night that we saw.
I mean, I'll say this, if he gets another first round finish in November, or another finish in November for an opponent like that, we're basically in fighter of the year category. Who could you point to that had a better calendar for multiple fights?
Yeah. So Dub says at this point, we don't even know what Tom Aspinall looks like as a champion. I mean, come on already. Defender, vacate, quit holding up the division. We're a pro Aspinall show here, Dubs. At least I'm pro Aspinall. You're barking up the wrong tree.
I had a sick thought the other day that the UFC, they're going back to Salt Lake City. What if they make that the rematch for Gane versus Aspinall in the elevation?
Ooh. Yeah, I don't like that. I think it's happening. I think that happens at MSG in November. I think that's the fight that happens in November.
Yeah, no, I know they're trying to get it booked, and mainly because they are going to need some title fights down the line.
Or I could see it. I could see it if Jan is not ready for Abu Dhabi. It's been reported Merab Jan in Abu Dhabi is in the works. But if Jan's not ready because he had the back surgery, needs another month, I could see them pushing. I could see Tom Surreal back in Abu Dhabi, back where it all started.
Yeah, I think Volk Evloev is the main fight I know for a fact we're getting in Abu Dhabi, especially when they didn't book that one to the LA card. I'm assuming that's going to be one of their main side fee cards.
So he says if there's a rematch, Gane sleeps him in 2 rounds. I think rust is going to be a big factor. I don't hate that, Dubs. I mean, I don't know if he sleeps him, but I'm not going to put that. I think that's very possible. I mean, Tom's only been in the octagon for what, a round and a half the last 3 years because he had to do the whole fucking John Jones saga.
It's a fair point considering that the inactivity was kind of a worry in the last fight.
Right.
And more or less, you got half a round and it's continued. So, yeah, more than fair. For sure.
Yeah. That's. I'm not. I'm not going to agree with you, but I definitely see where you're coming from, and I'm only disagreeing because I'm a Tom Aspinall guy. I've been touting Tom this whole time. This show's been going, so I will continue to do so. Bobby, let's get into this week's card. Again, it is headlined by the welterweight champ. Islam. I'm not even. I best butcher up his last name every time. Makhachev. Yep. Thanks. Yeah. Versus what? I mean, we know. Against Ian Machado-Garry. Before we look at the card and stuff, Bobby, let me ask you because it is Islam. If he wins this fight, will break Anderson Silva's win streak. Right, 17 in a row. Does he? Will that put him top 2 or 3 in the GOAT status? Because I don't feel like Islam's getting the love yet, and maybe it'll be like after he retires, much like Demetrius Johnson, where people be like, "Man, that guy was really good," but I don't feel like it's like the star power from Islam. Why is that? Why do you feel that way?
I don't feel that way at all. I think a lot of people do. And you know, unfortunately, a lot of people just don't appreciate these guys until they're gone. I was, you know, kind of guilty of doing it with Khabib. And then when he actually retired, you realized actually how much you missed a guy like that that just, you know, came in and, you know, controlled the pace of the fight. And the fact that, I mean, he's not only breaking the record, Islam is currently tied with Silva for the record. So he tied it, winning his second division title. And now he is defending it at a weight class against the undoubtedly number one contender. When most of the times, if you look it up, when they're defending that second belt against someone, it is not a caliber of opponent like Ian Gary, like not even close.
Oh, agreed. I mean,
like Derek Lewis
yeah,
against DC, you know, the list
yeah,
can go on and on. And
yeah.
it undoubtedly gets his foot in the door for those types of conversations. I know a lot of people probably already do. Like, if he gets this done, I would probably put him ahead of Mighty Mouse. I really have no problem saying that.
So
And
so it would be what the would be what Islam, John Jones, and GSP.
yeah, because I mean, I understand if someone would want to say, I need to see him beat Morales and Prates for that.
If he
That's
does
more
that,
than fair. But
yeah.
if he gets those two names, I'm sorry, it's like not even a discussion anymore. Like, he will be at the top and, you know, undoubtedly on Mount Rushmore, you know. I just don't see how because you, and a lot of this is because Khabib got out early, but you know, he's already kind of surpassed Khabib, even though he doesn't have the he has the one loss on his record.
Right.
But and that's just kind of more the longevity he's been in there. But you know, I'm just trying to appreciate as much time as this guy has left, because I don't know if it's one fight, I don't know if it's two, I don't know if it's three.
I think
But
it's
you
3
know,
or 4. I think so.
you know, it,
Dub says he's concerned for Islam when it comes to the height and reach advantage. It's going to be interesting how Ian dictates the range, and if Islam can eventually put him on his back. Yeah, 1,000% Dubs. I really think this is a very interesting fight. Oh, I just joined we're having the all ball note. Yeah, welcome, Kev. People are poo pooing on Ian on this fight. I'm not. I think Ian. I've said this for a long time. I think Ian Gary is one of the smartest fighters there is in this organization. He does things well. He keeps the distance well, and he's going to be bigger and taller than Islam is on fight night. And I'm not poo pooing Ian, and I get why people do. I get his personality rubs people the wrong way or whatever, but this guy can fight, and he's a very smart fighter.
yeah, I mean, I could talk about this fight for the next hour and a half. So, do you want to break down the rest of the card, or I mean, we can solely stick on this? It's
no, we'll go back. We'll get back to it. Let's get into the rest of the card here. Let me pull it up here. We like to work from bottom to top. Just on the prelims, again, this card, this card is not very deep. It's not as deep as the Conor card. It's not, obviously, the White House card was something very super duper special. But it's not, what this card is missing is the fight that they pulled off of this card. Because that's the fight I was like, oh, I'm very outside of the main event. I thought the Jazz Javicius versus Aaron Blanchfield, I thought that fight was the most intriguing fight on the card outside of the title fight. And that's what I feel like this card's missing.
I mean, this is how you know you have a good quality main event. I don't give a fucking shit what this card looks like. Like,
if I was paying $80, I would care, though. I don't care as much today.
If I was in the hook for $80, I would be bitching about it. I was kind of surprised when I went to break it down. There are some decent fights on it, but like the best way to explain it would be it's basically a fight night, aside from an elite main event and another title fight on the co-main event. But
Right.
I do think it's a valid claim for people to say like it's weak, but there are some, decent fights. I'm still excited to see on the undercard and stuff, but
Yeah, our
I
guy.
do think it's a more unfair criticism. But the main event is so solid, it's not even in my mind. Like,
I mean that. How about our guy Urabai opening up? He's the curtain jerker. You know what I mean? This guy's a.
it is a fucking crime that he is not on the main card. And especially when Charles' fight got pulled off the main card. And like I got mad love for Jalen Turner, so I'm not mad that they elevated that, but um yeah, that's one of the main fights on the prelims that I'll be glued in for sure.
Yeah. He's agreeing with you on Urabai here. Mad work. Yeah, for sure. You got Uncle Neil Magny versus Ramirez Bahamja. You got Rafael Tobias versus Lucas Fernando. How about Vincent Luque versus Tayshaun Gore? Dante Johnson versus Eric Moicano. The one fight I'm probably looking forward to the most on the prelims is the Chitty. I'm butcher his last name versus Joel Alvarez fight's going to be a good one, and you have Edson Barbosa versus Esteban Ribovic as well. Another. Another interesting fight. You got some old heads versus some young bucks on this card. Some matchmaking, I think, to send the older guys out to pasture, maybe. And so, yeah, they don't have the Charles Johnson fight back on the ESPN. At least I'm looking on the ESPN app, as it's just easier for me to look at. But that fight, obviously, we know got moved to the prelims. And you have Dante Johnson versus Eric McCoyno. Any of those, Bobby? What stands out to you out of the prelims here?
I'm very interested, even though it's on short notice for the Joel Alvarez fight. He was actually training with Islam in this camp to kind of mimic the length and stuff. So I wish this was on full camp, but I'm excited for that. Deontay Johnson, this is his first fight at Extreme, so I'm kind of interested to see if he picked anything up there. The Tayshaun Gore Vicente Luque, I kind of left Luque for dead in his last fight, and he won. I wanted him to retire. He didn't. He's fighting Tayshaun Gore, who had a very good quality win. So those three are probably the main, aside from the Oral by Jeremiah Wells fight. I mean, I know he is minus 1,000, but at the same time, Jeremiah Wells is just a very interesting upcoming prospect, and I'm excited to see what that looks like for sure.
Yeah, Alvarez was on quite the run until he ran into Amosov last time out, and he got subbed. If you remember that, we were both came across pretty impressed. Obviously, we know Amosov from Bellator when he was their champion, but he had the big, But Joel was on the Alvarez was on had a nice winning streak going up into that. So let's see if he can rebound. Short notice fight, like you said, just fought in May, so kind of a quick turnaround for Alvarez here.
Yeah, and I mean, I know a lot can't rub off into one camp, but I am kind of interested if he, picked up anything from Islam's camp that might help him with some of the positions that he struggled with in his last fight. But the last guy he lost to is very good, so it's not a huge slight.
Yeah, how about this? I thought the age gap was going to be a little bit different. I was just kind of scrolling here. Vincent Luque, 34. Guess how much older he is of Tayshaun Gore?
3 years.
2. I thought Gore
2.
would have been way younger. I get that shows you Luque's just been around a lot longer, you know.
Yeah, I mean, Gore's getting up there too.
So this on the
crazy.
ESPN app, this shows that they got Barbosa and Ribovic on the main card here.
Yeah, that's what it's
Oh,
showing me on Verdict. Since
okay, maybe that is true. Okay, yeah.
I am boycotting fucking Tapology since they announced Patchy Mix the winner of his fight because they won't acknowledge the rise in red card. So fuck you, Tapology. Verdict is where it's at. Sorry,
Yeah.
ran over.
Yeah, we'll get back to at the end. I do have something to say about Mr. Patchy Mix, and we'll get back to that. But yeah, let's go. Any other fight you want to mention here on the prelims?
No, I think I covered most of the ones I was excited for there. And I guess I do have to mention the Neil Magny fight as well, because that again, it's not like the craziest card that will blow you away, but it has a lot of like compelling ups. So I'm not too mad at the prelims compared to a lot of other people.
Yeah. Hold on. I want to say. D-Bus says, crazy take, but I think the best fighter in the welterweight division is Michael Morales. Guy is a certified tank, has knockout power, matches up well with everyone. I don't even think that's crazy. I don't think that's crazy at all. I think a lot of people are very high on Michael Morales. So I definitely want to see him and Islam or him and Ian next. If I think he could be next. I believe he's the backup fighter for this fight. I don't know if that's ever been confirmed or not, but seems like that was.
I still think Protez is next, but I agree with Dubs. Morales is one of the most exciting contenders in that division.
That's why they should do Morales versus Protez. What are we doing here? If they added fight to this card, Bobby, I could only get so erect.
Yeah, but I'm not trying to poo-poo your fight, but again, they're not. Oh yeah, he's cutting like 35.
Oh yeah. He can do that now for another year or two, but after that, he won't. He may not be able to.
He's not long for 170. I think it's fair to point that out.
Yeah, after he maybe becomes champion. So all right, Bobby. Let's get into the main card here. It starts off here. I don't know if this is because the order got all jacked up after Charles' fight fell out, but so I just put Jalen Turner here in versus Kay Fernandez. Turner 15-9, slight favorite here at -160. Fernandez 11-2, plus 135. Your thoughts here?
I'm a fan of this. Like, I think this is pretty like decent matchmaking down the board. This doesn't really like strike me as a mismatch or anything. Turner retired. We didn't really think that would stick, and he came back, got a win, and it seemed to just really be kind of a feel-good win for him, and now he's back to being someone in this division that could be a problem. And they're the same age, so it's not like they're setting like one of the younger guys up to get catapult or anything. I think this is just going to be a really fun, stylistic fight. And as far as kicking off like the main card, this is a perfect fight to get the elevation. Even though I was, complaining that Orobai was still buried, I understand completely why they put this on the main card. It probably was the main prelim fight going into the number card, I would assume.
Yeah, it was. I think it was. Yeah. Turner, remember he was kind of had that semi retirement after the Bamamitas fight. Came back late last year, December of last year. And got beat Edwin Barbosa as well. So gets the win last year, and now here he is back. obviously Turner. I always thought like Turner at 6'4", for him to get down to 155 is crazy. But it seems like he is now fighting his prime. Seems to finally love the sport again. I think that's huge. He talked about it pretty much after like the King Green fight. Like he just didn't want to be in the octagon. Just would rather just be anywhere else. I think the last time out looked really good for Fernandez here. He's on a 3-fight winning streak. Last time out, beat Hardwick by KO in the first round back in September of last year. So both guys getting their first fight of 26 here. You know, I love I kind of like Turner here with the length, you know, and the power here. What about you?
I can really see it either way. I mean, I would tend to agree. Turner has a little bit more of an advantage with the reach and stuff. The thing is, though, like Turner does absorb a lot of strikes to put stuff out too. So that is kind of in the back of my mind. And you know, but I do think like the odds makers do have this right. I would agree that Turner should be a slight favorite there. But yeah, I don't know, that one's pretty tough for me. I think I will lean on the side of picking Turner, but I could really see this just being a 15-minute war, and you're not really sure what guy wins the fight when it's over. So
Yeah,
but give me Turner.
I'm just over under on the rounds is 1.5. If you bet the over is plus 110. So
yeah, I mean, with the strikes Jalen absorbs and stuff, it doesn't shock me that they also think this won't go the distance. But it really would not shock me at all if, you know, both of them were just putting it on each other. But yeah, I think I'm gonna lean with Jalen. I'd love to see him get back on track there.
me too. William says Turner only beats himself here. I might be a little generous here. Yeah, Turner by decisions plus 600. Turner by KO plus 150, and Fernandez by decisions plus 750. Fernandez by KOs plus 250. With all that being said, though, I'm with you. Give me Jalen Turner to get the card going on Saturday night. Let's keep the party moving right here to the next one here. Ribovich is coming off the loss, Bobby, to the aforementioned Gamrot that we just mentioned, taking on the veteran Edson Barbosa, who's fought the who's who in featherweight and the lightweight division here, taking on the crafty veteran. Ribovich 14-2. That loss coming off the loss, just like I said, -4, pretty heavy favorite here at -470. Barbosa 24-12, pretty good sized underdog here at plus 320.
Yeah, this is where the fans would be correct to call out like this being a mismatch and stuff. This to me just looks like a classic sliming, and I don't know, man. It's you know, like I'm not saying like Barbosa still doesn't have stuff to contribute, but like in his last couple fights, he's just looked a little bit tad too slow. And I mean,
Long in the tooth.
especially
Yeah.
the Jalen Turner fight. You know, I know we were kind of worried about Jalen Turner going in, and then when the fight was over, it was the complete opposite. And I'm pretty confident that Ribovich gets back on track here. Like if Barbosa is able to get this done, that would be extremely impressive. But I think this is definitely Ribovich's fight to lose here.
Yeah, I'm kind of right there with you. They're 10 years apart. Barbosa's 40 and Ribovich is 30. So the last time we saw Barbosa, I believe, was that Jalen Turner fight. And actually, Barbosa's lost 3 in a row, Bobby. Lost to Lerone Murphy, Klaus, and Turner. Unanimous decision, and then got knocked out December last year. And then Ribovic, like I said, was lost to Gamrot of April of this year. So, this is a guy that they were kind of high on, and he's got some knockout power as well. I'm kind of with everybody in the comment section kind of saying, hey, this is kind of complete. Dub says this is complete mismatch, in my opinion. I think Ribovic pushes the pace, wears him down, and finishes it inside 2. So don't hate it. I don't hate it. I think that's very similar. I think Ribovic is just going to be quicker, stronger on Saturday night. Is probably going to be able to get him out of there. I'm kind of with you. I think it's probably within 2. I'm going to just kind of go over the betting lines here real quick. Over under on the rounds, 1.5. I kind of almost like the under here, and that's minus 135.
Yeah, I mean, I guess to Barbosa's credit, even though he's
I'm sorry, the under is plus 100 if you go under 1.5.
Yeah, I mean, to Barbosa's credit, he got finished by Jalen Turner quickly, but the previous 3 losses did all go to decision. So he is definitely durable. But I do think coming off the Turner loss, this is I call this like power slap matchmaking. It's designed to get an early finish that they could post on a TikTok reel. And that is, I'm not like fully counting Barbosa out, but I do not really see a path to victory here. I think Ribovic is just so much younger, and the damage he took in that last Jalen Turner fight, he did not take it well. And I don't really expect this to be any different, unfortunately.
I'm kind of right there with you. You can't even get Ribovic by KO at plus money. It's minus 220 by KO. That shows you where the odds, where they think what they think is going to happen right there.
That sounds about right.
Yeah. Give me Ribovic as well. You're picking Ribovic.
Yeah, I mean that's one you don't even need to ask me. That's
okay.
Yeah, that's just Ribovic. I mean, if Ribovic loses this fight, they're gonna crucify him online. I'll tell you that much.
Oh yeah. You got Mansour Abdur Malik, 6-0, another huge favorite, minus 550 versus Dustin Stolvutz, 16-6, huge dog, plus 410 here.
This actually is very justifiable if you want to say this is more of the same from last time. I mean, I guess with this one, Abdul Malik is coming off the loss there. So he is still very kind of young in his career. So he still has plenty of time left. I don't know. This, Dustin Stolfus is, he's won fights in the UFC, but this kind of seems more like a matchmaking for them to get Abdul back on track here. Like, I'm not completely just trying to count it out, but the odds makers essentially are, and I don't know. Like, I think Abdul Malik just gets back on track here, and this would also probably be a finish, either a TKO or a sub. But I don't know. These might be like one of the fights that we overlook because we see the line and it ends up being a good fight. But I think it will be Abdul Malik's night.
Yeah, I mean, there's not really much to stay here. Steve Stolvich, last time out, he's on a 2-fight losing streak. The last time he lost to Kevin Gastelum back in September of last year. So it's almost been a year layoff for him. But you know, when you lose to Kevin Gastelum at this stage, there's some question marks I have.
Thank you for saying it because I didn't have to. No notes.
I'll say the quiet part out loud, Bobby. Abdul Malik, you're right. He is coming off the loss. He lost back in March. But before that was on quite a little bit of a run. So I do think they're trying to build him back up here. Let's see what he does. Gambling wise, just kind of looking at the over under here. Over under rounds again 1.5. Overs minus 165. Over unders 125. Method of victory. They got Abdul Malik by KO minus 120. And then by decisions plus 200. And then you got Stolvox by KO. How about plus 2,000? So, and then Stolvox by decisions plus 1,000. So there's that.
I mean, if you want to live a little, you make the argument that Abdul Malik went to a decision with Cody Brundage, and
ended up in a draw. Yeah.
Stolfitz in his last 2 fights, he lost, but they went to decision. So he at least can stick around. So if there's actual like positive juice for the outcome to be a decision, I think I would play that more than, these inflated money lines. But at the same time, like, this is such a slop fight. I would just play a big number or not play it at all, maybe by him or sub. But you don't want to bet on this shit. What are you doing?
Bobby, I do want to bet on it, and I am going to bet on it.
If you put Abdul as a leg in your parlay, that's fine. But
I think I've already put one parlay together this afternoon.
Yeah, I mean, minus 655 adds like 20 cents to the parlay.
Yeah. So let's get into the co-main event, Bobby. It is the strawweight. Strawweight? Right?
See, when you go by that, the card does feel kind of bare that we're already at the co-main and we just did those 3. So like, fully breaking it down, I'll acknowledge I do feel that, even though I'm still locked in.
And it's also when you look at the odds, right? Like when you look at the fights and the odds, it is very much one way. Those 3 fights are very much one. The Turner fight's close, but the last 2 fights, it's matchmaking.
Well, I'm kind of pissed that the flyweights got pulled off the main card in the first place. I mean, assuming the fight stays intact with the replacement opponent, maybe.
Well, it's now at 130. It's going to be at 130. They said catch weight.
Oh, it's going to be at a catch weight. Okay, that makes sense. But I'm sorry, that's going to be still a very entertaining fight. So we didn't mention that one, but we got it too.
Yeah. Let's get into the is it the strawweights? Mackenzie Dern strawweight? Yeah. Okay. I didn't think. So Dub says I'm rooting for Jillian, but I don't know much about women's MMA. Hey, you're missing out. There's some good fights on the women's MMA. Don't know if I think
lie to our viewer. No, I'm kidding. Yeah, I mean, I've been asking for this fight specifically, like when Dern became the champion. So I am glad we're getting this instead of them just reinserting Wei Li to dominate the division.
I do feel like this is just a placeholder. They're just placeholders until she decides she wants to come back.
If Wei Li did not vacate the title to lose, I would kind of agree. And I do agree with the sentiment that like eventually we know she's getting the title shot. But she did like make the choice to vacate the title. So I mean, lineage wise, I still consider this the actual women's strawweight title that's
Oh
on the
yeah,
line.
yeah. I'm not saying it's not, but I'm saying it's a play there. I I don't think either one of these ladies beat Wei Lee is what I'm saying.
Yeah, I mean, fortunately, we don't have to break that down, but you're probably right. It is there is like some cool history about Mackenzie Dern like had the most amount of like submissions, and then Robertson lapped her with that, and now they're like finally matched up against each other. So I know Julian's been kind of hoping to get this fight for a while. So I guess it's kind of fitting that it is for the title. And I think it's a win-win for the UFC's point of view because they can market the shit out of Mackenzie Dern, and they're also big fans of Robertson because of her ties with Dean Thomas. So I think they would take either as the winner. That's what a lot of people say, that this is an interim title, but it is technically the real belt.
It is the real belt, but I'm just saying I don't think they beat Wei Lee, who is the crown.
The sad thing about it is I can say that, but I really wouldn't have too much of an argument if someone wanted to push back on it. Because I would not pick either of them to beat Wei Lee in the fight. But that's the benefit of it being this fight. We get to focus on like this matchup,
In this matchup, I think this is actually the main event is very intriguing, but this fight's just as a very intriguing, Bob, because like you just mentioned, both these ladies are submission experts. Both want to get this fight to the ground. So will that nullify the groundwork, right? Like a lot of times we see two wrestlers and like, it's like, oh, they could take them to the ground, or two BJJs and, going at it. And it's just like, well, now they're going to stand now instead of getting to the ground, they nullifies it. And then it's a stand-up game. And I do think Mackenzie's stand-up game is maybe slightly better than Jillian's at this point. But man, I really like both of these fighters, both of these ladies, and both of them are really great on the ground. And I'm excited to see how they get there and what happens once they do get there.
God, I hope this isn't a shitty kickboxing match. Like I please make sure to use the grappling. I'm not trying to diminish the striking. I just would much prefer to see how they're able to handle these exchanges on the ground, much more than just like you said, they nullify it and then they're just basically kickboxing for 20 minutes. And so, yeah, hopefully we don't get that, and one of them can close the distance and use a little bit of the grappling. I've gone back and forth on this fight since they announced it. I initially felt extremely confident about Mackenzie. Then the more and more I looked at it, ever since Julian Roberts has gotten to this division, I think she really kind of has found her way here. So I don't know if you mentioned the odds on this, but like I essentially view this as just straight down the middle.
It's Dern's the favorite at -238. Jillian slight dog at +195.
So that's like kind of a standard like underdog. I mean, technically Robertson is the dog with the 2-1 odds, but it so I could see some value there if you want to play like double up your money in what should be a close fight. I don't think it's the worst bet in the world. I would not play it personally, but I view this more as kind of 50-50. So for them to put 2-1 odds on anyone, if it was reversed, I'd probably take the other side from a betting standpoint. But I don't know. I think I'm still slightly leaning Mackenzie here, even though I know I'm probably going to go back and forth with it the next few days. But for the gavel, I will be going and still here probably, but I'm pretty up in the air about it. Full disclosure.
Yeah, me too. So you're saying Dern here. Dern is on a 3-fight winning streak. Last time out, won the title when she beat Virna Jabrona back in October. Before that, before the 3-fight winning streak, she was on a 2-fight losing streak. So, but obviously turn it around for Jillian here. She is on quite the winning streak, Bobby. The last time she lost was 3 years ago when she lost to Tabitha Ritchie. Since then, she's won 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 in a row, including March of this year when she beat Amanda Lemos. So then she obviously, so she's been on quite the run.
And if we're going off control time, it's heavily in Robertson's favor because that's like her style of fight and stuff. So it would not, shock me at all if she got her hand raised in this.
Yeah. On the on the gambling side, over unders 4.5 rounds. Overs minus 180, under plus 130. So I like the over here. I tend to bet most female fights to go the distance or over on the rounds. If you bet Robinson by decision, it's plus 300. Dern by decisions plus 150. So you can kind of see what the odds makers are saying here. Dern by submissions plus 200. Robinson by submission. Wow, it's plus 1,000.
There's your bet.
That's the best bet to make right there, right?
Bro,
that's the
best. That is an unresponsible number. I can't believe that.
There's the juice worth the squeeze right there. That's it. That's it.
Absolutely. I mean, it's probably a very unlikely outcome, but with her control time, that is that's a way to live for the co-main event for sure.
Yeah. I think I'm going to sprinkle a little on it.
Yeah, I'd get a big sprinkle on that one.
Yeah, I think I'm going to. With that being said, though, Bobby, I was debating, but I'm going to do it. My dog on the card is none other than a new strawweight division champion of the world, Jillian Robinson at plus 195. She's going to be my dog on the card. I'm betting on Jillian to win. I'm actually going to sprinkle on the submission as well. She's my dog on the card. She's going to take it home, be the champ until she loses to Whaley. But right now, she's my dog.
I love it. That would be like my more preferable outcome. I think it'd be a little better for the division, but like I said, the UFC is kind of playing with house money with the winner of this fight. So,
yeah. All right, let's get to the main event. He says he agrees with you, Bobby. So, William says he likes the under on the main and co-main. Okay. Let's get into the main event, Bobby. We've already kind of talked about it a little bit, but let's go ahead and fully break it down here. The champ versus rightfully, and we've said this all along, like Ian has earned his way to this title shot. He is the rightful number one contender, and he's getting his shot here. I mean, and there's a little bit of history. Obviously, the whole Conor, and you got the Ireland versus the Dagestanians again. Conor versus Khabib, but not really. I've noticed the UFC doesn't seem to be playing that up a whole lot, or maybe a little bit, but not a lot. I don't feel like yet. Maybe we'll get a little bit more as the week goes. Tomorrow night is the presser, so maybe we'll see some of them then. But it's just so many question marks going into this. How can Islam? Can he close the range? Ian does such a great job on the takedown defense. Can Islam take him down? We know both these guys can go all 5 rounds, and there's so many question marks. Will Islam, like Islam said, he did not go for it right against JDM. Like was just like I'm found the path to victory. I just wanted to get the title. I'm going to take more risk in this fight. And he's done that before. He's been in some exciting fights. I think the first Volk and Islam fight was one of the more exciting fights I've ever seen. Dustin Poirier fight was a fun fight. So it's not like he's just always just, rinse and repeat here like he did against JDM. But I don't think anybody blamed him against JDM. Like that was the path to victory. That's how you get it done. I don't think it'll be that easy Saturday night for Islam against Ian Gary. But your thoughts here? You're muted. You can't hear you.
Just to lead where we opened, Islam Makhachev went into that fight with Jack Della Maddalena going up a different weight class, 50-45'd him and tied Anderson Silva's all-time winning record. And this weekend, he tries to break it. The pound-for-pound number one guy against the undoubtedly rightful number one contender. I'm glad you mentioned the Dagestani Ireland beef. On the Zuffa boxing that was in Dublin this last week, they led with the first promo that I've seen the UFC done in a while that was not heavily AI influenced. They had both Ian and Islam digging up like time capsules, and then they were using some of the footage from, they love to use the dolly footage, but and it's so weird that they choose to use the dolly footage, but they will not use the footage of when Khabib jumps into the crowd to go after Dylan Dennis. Actually, they did use some of it for this, but it was very refreshing to see the UFC kind of hype up a big fight with the history behind it and stuff that felt organic. Like it was not this manufactured slop that they were trying to give us with Conor Max that, like, let's be real, nobody gave a shit about that fight. They knew that Conor was coming back, and that's what they were drawn to. I mean, people could shit on this card like all they want, but this is undoubtedly the best fighting the best. And when we're getting so much more of a rarity of that, I'm just kind of going to appreciate what we have here. And I do want to just give the UFC credit for promoting the fight that way. They even did some of it on the countdown. I haven't watched a countdown in over a year. There's really been no reason to. This is the fight that got me drawn in to do it. I was just kind of interested to see what they put on video. They did a very good job of making Ian Gary look a lot more likable than he is in his other interviews and stuff. Everything they're doing is like giving it that big fight feel. They're going back to the weigh-in format where they're doing a pre-show for it, and it's going to be on CBS again. What they did with the Conor fight, which I didn't know that. Would be a blimp that we'll never see. So I'm interested to see. It sounds like they're going to have kind of the same press conference set up for that they did, for the co-main and the main, and using more of the arena than just kind of the small stage. So, I'm just, when I'm critical about the UFC, like just making everything feel like the same, I am glad that they're doing it.
Make sure you
very
subscribe.
Good.
Thanks.
I'm glad they're just doing it the right way and really giving it that big fight feel,
Yeah. It is a big fight though. And the question is, the theme of to me of 2026 been the year of the underdogs, right? And will Ian Gary fit into that theme now? You look at the last three pay-per-views, the last two for sure, I guess. Maybe not. I guess the Conor doesn't eat the Conor, but like, Sean Strickland, huge underdog wins. Justin Gaethje, underdog wins. And really, you could go back to January. Gaethje was the underdog, I think, in the Patty fight and won, obviously. So, is this now? Can Ian follow suit and this continue to be the year of the underdog?
Yeah, I get why people are making those simulations and stuff. Um, and I'm sorry, like the fact that Conor McGregor beating Max was ever into the discussion compared to these other fights, like get the
Oh, I'm not comparing. No, 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 no.
no, I
I'm
know you're not, but there were
yeah.
others that were
Oh, okay.
like, oh, Justin beat Ilya. Maybe Connor can do it. And it's like, no, you need to just go outside. Like, there's not a chance in hell that that's happening. This, I would not consider it an upset. Like, I think Ian Gary is that much of a live dog in this fight because he is fighting the best guy in the division. So, like, obviously, on the book side of it, it
He's
would be
fighting the best guy in the organization currently. Not
yeah,
even just
it,
he's
it,
fighting the guy.
it would undoubtedly be an upset, but compared to some of the other ones that we got this year, I would not consider it like upset of the year because Ian Gary is just a very defensively sound fighter that is
Yes.
able to fight at range and stick and move. And
MMA Twitter world will burn to the ground though with Ian. It will crumble if Ian Gary wins on Saturday night. Have you thought about that?
I mean, I don't
I
honestly
hope
give it
it happens. Actually, I can't wait. I just love it when
the
people fucking freak the fuck out.
the reason I don't give it too much thought is because I know if it doesn't, they'll freak the fuck out and have an aneurysm over something else.
I know, but
So
if it happens, like people will freak. Like will their heads will implode.
oh yeah, the memes will be generational, and yeah, it wouldn't shock me if a lot of people just simply stop watching MMA. As moronic as that sound, I'm not joking. And it's Ian is just great at baiting people this well.
Yeah.
I find it so comical. It's
How do you see this fight going?
you know um Ian's got to play his normal game of, maintaining the distance, staying light on the feet, using that reach, and just really sticking and moving. He's got to be first and third, especially when they're trading. And if he does that, there is a chance that he could take 3 rounds off Islam. I'm not saying it's the most probable and likely outcome, but in no way do I think that this is a layup for Islam. I think this is probably his most defensively sound opponent in a very long time. I mean, probably easily since Volk.
Yeah.
Um, and just with the size too, I don't think Ian is that much taller than him, but because of his size, he's always had very good takedown defense. Um, but I think Islam's key to victory is to use that against Ian, and he's just got to cut off the cage. You can't really allow him to stick and move like that. I'm interested to see what him and Khabib have for Ian's jab. Like if they're going to try to set up a single leg, knowing he's going to be spamming that jab. So he has a really good shot. Ian is very good at fighting off the fence, and Islam doesn't always necessarily need the fence to get someone down. So the question for me really is if Islam gets him down, can Ian Gary survive if he gets his back?
Can he
Just
get
because,
back up? Yeah.
yeah. Well, I do think he could eventually get back up, but if Islam is able to just continually put him there and repeat it similar to JDM, that really would not shock me. I don't really buy any of the noise that Islam is looking for the finish in this fight. I mean, I think he was looking for it throughout that JDM fight. The one thing Craig Jones did very well for JDM was help him be able to defend a lot of the submissions. And you know, I do like the lineage of the teams as well because of the history with Oliveira and everyone. So I'm very excited for it. But at this point in time, as much of a dog I think Ian Gary is, I'm just going to have to see it before I pick him against the pound for pound guy in the world. Um, I think Islam is going to try to get him out of there by the third round. I'm not sure if he's able to do it, but I just want it known if he is able to finish Ian Gary, that is just inherently impressive to be able to, finish a guy like that at the top. But I think Ian Gary is going to make it a very competitive fight, but at the end of the night, I think Islam will get it done.
Yeah. So the over under on the rounds, real quick, is 4.5. The over is -200. So they kind of tend to agree that this fight's probably going to go the distance here. Method of victory: Islam by KO +900. Islam by sub is +200. Islam by decisions +100. And then you got Ian by decisions +425. Ian by KOs +850.
I normally don't recommend people play two bets, but if you really want to play 2+ money bets, I would play the buy sub and buy decision because
Same.
you just got to put the right amount in to ensure that they don't wash, or you could essentially use it to get a free bet out of it. If he does go to decision, it will wash off the other one. But yeah, I don't know, that the +100 for the decision seems a little fair. I would fight night, that is going to be a negative number, I promise you. I'd get that early.
I'm with you. I'm going to go Islam by decision. I think that Ian's good and smart enough to get out of any serious trouble, but I just think Islam will be too much in the long run, and I think it's going to be a lot closer fight than what people think. But Islam makes it 17 in a row here.
Do you think he has any success as far as the Shavkat fight? Like, do you think there's a chance that he does that well in some of these grappling exchanges and being up on the fence? Or how many rounds would you say Gary could probably win?
2.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
And you probably early or later on in the fight?
I think the first round will probably be close. So, you know what I mean? So he could probably get that one. And then probably squeeze in like round 3. And then I think the championship rounds, Islam probably turns it on.
Yeah, I mean, that first round of that Shavkat fight was so close because, they knew absolutely, William. They just knew that the high level stakes in it, and there was like a real feeling out process. And it would not, I would kind of more expect to get that out of round 1 here. Because, Ian is just very good at fighting at range and sticking and moving. So I don't see this being any different.
Yeah. I'm in 1,000% agreement. I have one fight that sums up our UFC 330 talk. I do want to talk real quick, Bobby. I know you watch Ryerson all the time. Patchy Mix loses again. Technically, he missed weight by like 6 pounds. The downfall of Patchy Mix will need to be studied, documented. Like, what the hell happened to this guy? This was a guy 3 years ago, 2 years ago. People said when he was in Bellator, this guy could come to the UFC. He would be a top dog, could maybe fight for the title. And we saw how his UFC reign went, and it's just continuing to get worse for Patchy. I don't know where he goes from here.
Kind of fitting that Patchy Mix told Danny Sabatello that he couldn't finish a Happy Meal, and it appears that Patchy Mix finished multiple Happy Meals because missing 6 pounds is like so unserious. And I tell you, man, I have never seen the Japanese crowd boo anyone. It's such about respect. They were booing the shit out of Patchy Mix. They were letting him hear it the entire night. And I think, like me, they think he just hasn't taken it seriously since he was there. You know, his first fight in back in Ryzen was against Akamoto, who was actually the main event of this card. So he lost to the guy that was fighting at the top there. So they weren't like necessarily burying him on this card or anything, but to come in 6 pounds overweight and just be that unserious, and he essentially got the control time for the back. But I mean, I clearly scored it rounds 2 and 3 for Sato. And the thing is, Ryzen scoring is they score it like round by round instead of the entire fight. And it was kind of baffling that the only reason Sato won was because of the red card and the weight miss. I'm glad it was in place because that would have been egregious if Patchy won that fight. He was just like taking all these leg kicks. He could not stay up, and a very rough showing. I know he said he had kidney issues, and that's why it was the issue with the weight, but just a terrible look. And so I don't really know where he goes from here. I don't think Ryzen is gonna like cut him. I think they would happily still match him up with someone, but I would like to see a little bit more serious from Patchy because since he's been back, I have not felt it. And you know, this organization is pretty serious. If you fuck around, you get finished by Akamoto like he did in his last fight. Like he had really no moments in that fight that he looked good.
Yeah.
And he had some control time here, but that was about it. But the co-main and the main were the only fights that went to decision. The rest ended in the first or second round. So it was a very fun Tuesday or Monday, late Monday morning Rising card. So I was happy with it. It kind of makes me Akamoto got the win in the main event. I was surprised that he was calling for the winner of the Ryzen PFL super fight. I think that's a little bit too soon. Like the kid's only 20. But yeah, continues to be a breath of fresh air in the MMA space for sure.
Any other final thoughts before we get up out of here?
No, I that aside from the Contender Series was on last night, and Bilal Hassan was the main dude that fought that I was like, okay, like I've been waiting for him to get his contender fight. He showed out with a first round stoppage. It does not shock me at all that they just booked him in a fight. So
Oh, they
he's
did.
fighting. They just booked him in the China card.
Oh shit. Okay.
So and it does not shock me because like Dana was literally frothing at the mouth yesterday, saying, "Oh well, Mix left some spots open to fill out on some of these cards." And I'm like, "Yep."
I think Anthony Went is going to be on the Sacramento card. Who was on the main event? Yeah.
Yeah.
On the main event last night.
I think we're gonna have a lot of them filled out with stuff that's already on the books. And yeah, he's fighting Nielsen Rojas, so it should be a decent.
Oh, he's fighting Rahul Rojas' brother.
Oh, really?
I think so. Ain't that it?
Is that who that is? Damn,
I think so.
He's gonna slime. I'm really high on Hassan. He's one of those guys that I thought the UFC could have just signed right out, but I get they need content for Paramount, so they had him do the contender route. But I'm glad they had him on the first episode last week. There was a good highlight. I'm sure you can see the clip online.
Yeah. Just if you got Paramount, watch the whole Contender Series. This show was there's some pretty decent fights. I caught them this morning. So other than that, folks, we'll be back next week, 8 o'clock Central, 9 Eastern. We'll talk about all the results here at UFC 330 and more, and whatever else happens in the world of MMA throughout the week. So other than that, enjoy the fights, folks. Enjoy the weekend. It's going to be a great, good card, hopefully, in Philadelphia on Saturday night. We'll talk about it with you, Bobby, next week. So be a friend, tell a friend, folks. Like, subscribe, share. We'll see you right back here next week.
Thanks so much for joining us, and until next time, let's talk sport, friends. Thanks for watching.